Hi, I'm Father Jonathan Stepp, the rector of All Saints Episcopal Church here in Franklin. We at the Interfaith Coalition of Macon County are a diverse group of people of faith and spirituality, from Baha'i to Jewish to Christian and a variety of other traditions and spirituality. We are very mindful during this time in our nation's history and in our culture of the great need for peace, for people to come together, for those from very different backgrounds to learn to work together and to love each other. But we are also mindful that true, authentic, and lasting peace can only come where justice is present. In lieu of gathering as an interfaith coalition to pray for justice and the peace that can flow from it, we've chosen to compile this video of prayers and thoughts and reflections on the justice that leads to peace. This prevents us from coming together in a way that might spread the COVID virus, but also allows us the chance to speak to you, our friends and neighbors, from our hearts and from our various spiritual traditions about what we believe to be of vital importance in the spirituality of our nation and our culture in this difficult time. We pray that God will grant justice, that God will enable us to enact peace, and we ask that you will join with us in these prayers.
Our nation is being tested by divisiveness, amoral acts by those in control, furthered by stresses of our social fabric in this time of pandemic. Our Unitarian Universalist principles provide guidance. The inherent worth and dignity of every being. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Acceptance of one another. The goal of world community with liberty, justice, and peace for all. Our UU leaders demonstrated their commitment to these principles in their support of the Civil Rights Act and the Equal Voting Rights Acts, some making the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. Justice cannot be distributed unequally by those in control, or it will have continual struggle for control and unrest amongst our nation. We must stand up for our beliefs and do what each of us can to share our vision and build peaceful and lasting unity in our nation. As Unitarian Universalists of Franklin, we oppose the unjust, unequal behaviors and prejudicial thoughts imposed upon the Black communities and individuals.
Peace be with you. I'm Vicki Lawrence, the assistant pastor at First United Methodist Church, and I come to you today with a cry for prayer, because racism is not dead. In fact, racism is an everyday reality. Often this racism goes unnoticed, like the Black child who is never considered for the gifted program at school, or the white woman who crosses the street when she sees a Black man walking towards her. Much of the time, racism only becomes apparent when something truly hideous happens, such as the recent killings of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and the list goes on. But these are not random, isolated, unrelated acts. They are symptoms of systemic, widespread racism that still grips our country today. The racism that began during the days of slavery was reinvented. It has been reinvented time and again through Jim Crow laws, through mass incarceration, and now in the killing of people of color, not to mention the disproportionate number of Black and brown lives taken during the COVID-19. Racism is not dead, and none of us should be okay with that. This month, ask you to pray for a few specific things. God's redemptive love to overcome the power of racism that permeates our society. and the ability to see God's image in all people, especially in people who are Black and brown. The church to take tangible steps towards making racial justice a reality. And finally, people to spend time in prayer and reflection, repenting of ways in which they reinforce racism. Never doubt that your prayers make a difference. Thank you.
My name is Grant Wolf, and I'm representing the Baha'i community today. Justice, peace, and unity are the most powerful guiding principles in the Baha'i faith, and they are inseparably linked. Let me share with you a few brief quotes from Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith. "The best beloved of all things in my sight is justice. Verily, justice is my gift to thee, and the sign of my loving kindness. The purpose of justice is the appearance of unity among men. The well-being of mankind, its peace and security are unattainable unless and until its unity is firmly established." And finally, I'd like to chant a short prayer for unity, the inevitable and ultimate destiny of humankind. God grant that the light of unity may envelop the whole earth, and that the seal, the kingdom is God's, may be stamped upon the brow of all its people, may be stamped upon the brow of all its people.